Hello! So I'm back with another topic to talk about and share with you guys as my diary. So the other day I was doing some thinking and writing as usual, and accidentally I came up to a topic which is like things that I understand more the older I get. And as I started writing, the older I get, the more I understand this and that, it has become a quite long list. And at the end of the list, I realized, oh my God, I have been changing a lot. Like, many things about me have been changing. Maybe super slowly, but also enormously. And the things that have been changing are not some certain things that would change supernaturally with your age or super easily. It's not like, for example, your taste changing, like it's not like, oh, I used to love orange juice when I was teenager, but now I would prefer apple juice. It's not like such changes. Those are more like deep stuff, like deeper stuff. So I want to share that list with you guys. And I have some points that I want to share with you. And let's dive into that. So the first thing that I realized the older I get was nothing, literally nothing, nothing lasts forever. I don't know how you guys are or where, but when I was younger, I tend to see things as if they are going to be there for forever. I never see things or people or some certain situations. This is for just some certain time period. I couldn't see that way. But the older I get, the more I realized every single piece of life, that could be people, that could be materialistic things, that could be time, that could be emotions, thoughts, feelings, love, hate, every single piece of this life and life itself is temporary. Nothing in it lasts forever. If you were young, that means there is a high chance that you hadn't been exposed to any sort of death or loss or some sort of ending. So the people, the things, the environment, they were there all the time ever since you opened your eyes in this world. So it's so hard to imagine that those things are not for forever because, in fact, they were there for forever in your life, right? But unfortunately, it's not like that. When I was 11, my grandpa passed away, and that was the first time I was exposed to death. And I was like, oh, so grandmas and grandpas are not for forever? They are gonna be just vanished one day and I cannot see them ever again? Like, and that's called death? Okay. That's how I exposed to an ending. But ever since that, I don't know, when you are into life, when you're living life, it just seems like you are swimming nonstop in this flow and you forget some certain very basic facts. So situations seem like for forever, heartbreak seems like for forever, hate seems like for forever, like also love seems like for forever. Like everything seems like it's gonna last forever. But in fact, it's not. Everything is actually temporary. And this summer, I realized this even deeply, like deep to my bones. Summer 2024, I went back home after like almost 5 years of studying abroad. So for 5 years, I hadn't seen my parents, I hadn't seen my siblings. And the first thing that I realized when I got there was like my dad got older, my mom got older. I'm not gonna say they're old people, but they seemed way older than I saw them last time. Of course, that's just natural thing. People get older, right? But when you are a child, when you activate your child brain, not as like not your adult brain, you think like your parents are always this 30, 40 years old people. You cannot imagine them being like 70, 80-year old complete grandparents, right? At least it was the case for me. When you are young, you think like time goes only for you, like time is passing by only in your life because you're doing stuff. But actually, every time when you celebrate your birthday, you have to remember everybody else in your life is having also birthday that year, and that means you guys are all growing older. And when I went there this summer, I offered them for camping as usual because we used to do camping a lot. And my dad was always the driver, the security guy who carries everything also for us, who cooks for us sometimes, and who builds up the tent. Um, yeah, like he used to take care of all such stuff. And my mom was also taking care of us. And this time, after 5 years, we did the camping. And that camping was way different than the previous ones because my dad needed help to build up the tent. And then I thought, like, oh, he's no more this like fast, strong young man. And my mom was complaining to sleep in tent because she had back pain. She had some sort of headache, and she was very uncomfortable sleeping in a tent. And then I realized that's fair enough. Like, she's no more this 40-year-old lady. Like, she's way older. I mean, my parents are not that old, but still, like, they are older now. There was also another thing that made me realize this point even more. So, around 2 years ago, when I was abroad, I lost my very dear person. He was my boss, but he was like a brother to me and mentor as well. And we had a project to build up a children and youth theater. And this summer, I spent an entire month in Mongolia, but I couldn't find a single minute to visit this theater because I heard that theater is now sold and also kind of destroyed because they wanted to build up probably another thing there. I just couldn't go there and face the fact that this theater didn't last forever and this person also didn't last forever. And the most I was afraid that if I go there, I would realize even that me didn't last forever, the person who used to work there. But I don't want to sound like, oh, it's super sad, it's super unfortunate that nothing lasts forever. No, actually, in fact, I see it in a good way because what would we then expect from life if we want everything lasts forever? Like, that would be super nonsense. That would be super sad, actually. So, the second thing that I understand more the older I get is your life is not only your life, it's also your people's life. And your people's life is not only their life is also your life. So, your people could be your parents, your friends, or friends, like, or your partner, anyone in your life. So, let me explain with a story. 7 or 8 years ago, I went to some sort of energy center in Mongolia with my company colleagues as a company trip. So, I don't know how to explain this place. It's like it's I think energy center is the best way to explain, because people believe that there is certain good energy, and that was also some historical temple and some buildings. And I'm sorry, I really don't know how to explain this place. But anyways, people go there and pray for something, and people believe that their energy gets cleansed there, and then probably if you wish something there, that would come true. So this is just like a spiritual belief. And there is this like tradition. People go upstairs to top of the temple around sunrise, and when sun rises they make their wishes. So we did that, and when we got there I called my dad, because everybody calls their family as well to make them also wish their wishes, because people it's so funny, but people believe that you can also send the energy through phone to their loved ones. Yeah. And I called my father, and he picked up, and I was like, Dad, I'm on top of this temple thing, and then I'm making a wish, and it's now sun rising. Please make your wish. And yeah, because if he makes his wish, it would also come true. That's the belief. And he was like, Oh, my wish is your wish to come true. I was like, What? No, Dad, I'm asking, what's your wish? And he's like, Yeah, my wish is your wish coming true. And then I was like, Okay, cool. And then we just hung up. And ever since that, I've never forgotten this small talk. And I was like, That's so funny. My dad doesn't have own wish, and my wish is now his wish. But the older I get, the more I realize now, if you love someone deeply, this person's happiness becomes your happiness, right? If you see this person smiling, you want to just smile with them, because you just align with this person's happiness. And if you see your friend or your mother crying, you want to cry with them, or you want to make them happy again, because you cannot handle this, because this pain, this sadness is also your pain, your sadness. So that's what I'm saying. Like, their life is also your life, and my life is no more only my life, because if I am struggling, if I am unhappy, if I am unhealthy, that means the people who love me would suffer with me. So their life would be also to some certain degree miserable. And another example, so for 2022, I think, no, 2023, I was writing my bucket list for a year. And when I was writing there my own goals, I wrote like, oh, I wish my this friend um, gets a boyfriend or finds her love, because I really wanted my friend to have some beautiful love story in her life. And I wrote that, and then for another line I wrote like, oh, I wish my this friend gets pregnant this year, because I knew that that friend really wanted to have a baby. And now thinking back, I realized like, why my goals, including their goals or their wishes. I think if they are happy, I am happy. So their goal has become also my goal. So we all basically share our lives. So there is no single life. There is no certain life only for one person. And that's just how it is, I guess. So, and if you think even in a deeper level, actually, this universe, this world is all just one. Because if someone is suffering in the US, I just cannot be fully happy, even I am in Europe. If someone is having some trouble in China, I cannot be fully happy just because I'm in Russia. Like, because indirectly we all connected. I think we are just, at the end of the day, only one whole thing. So if you are unhappy, even though I don't know who you are, even though I didn't cause you this unhappiness, I also would somehow get affected by your unhappiness. I think if you understand this thing, you cannot hate anyone, you cannot harm anyone, because if you harm someone, that's, you're harming yourself. So actually, I think my voice is already super tired, and I talked about only 2 points here, but I cannot talk anymore. So I think I'm gonna record the second part for this video, because I have other stuff that I wanted to talk about actually. So, anyways, thank you for listening, and I would like to also hear your opinion on it. And thank you.